2024 NFL Draft is full of premier talent across the board. Offensively, defensively, you name it, there are guys that are going to be high impact players at the next level. In today's video, we are going to take a look at those guys and where the best potential landing spots are going to be for them in this 2024 NFL mock draft. If you do enjoy college football content as well as NFL content, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more NFL mock drafts. So starting here at number 1, Arizona has an easy choice at a perennial talent, a guy that is a rarity in terms of his total traits and what he can do on the football field. He has a big-time arm, he's a good athlete, poised in the pocket, a good team leader. He's everything that you're hoping for as a franchise-level quarterback. The decision is going to be easy for them, and they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with Kyler Murray moving forward. But Caleb Williams is too good to pass up on. Therefore, they select him here, number 1 overall. Once again, they go QB at 1 like they did with Kyler, but I think things are going to look a lot better for them this time around. He's that build-around franchise piece that every team is currently looking for. At number 2, you have the Chicago Bears, and to me, the Chicago Bears are pretty interesting in the position they would be sitting here at number 2, but I like the likings of Marvin Harrison Jr., who is a franchise player, a guy that is going to do so much for your team at the receiver position. He's one of the premier route runners in the class. He's elite in terms of his catch and traffic, his ability to go up and get the football, strong hands, aggressive, can make plays after he catches the football. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a no-brainer here. Despite a lot of people liking what Chicago currently has in the receiving core, I don't think that should be a deterrent for them to pass up on a guy that is a generational player in Marvin Harrison Jr. Number 3, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and for me, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in a position where they have to look at the QB spot. Drake May is that next guy for them. Baker Mayfield, Kyle Trask are 2 players that are not going to move the needle for me this season. I think potentially one of them could have an okay year, but when you're picking number 3 overall, there's going to be a change that needs to be made, and to me, Drake May is that prospect that a lot of people should be excited about. Not only his frame presents a lot of possibilities, but it also his athleticism and his humongous arm are all things which he is deserving of being a top 3 pick in this year's class. Number 4, we have the Indianapolis Colts. Olu Fashanu from Penn State. Talk about potentially the best pass protector in the entire class. He's a really good athlete, a guy that has a strong base, good anchor. He's everything that you would hope for in an Indianapolis Colts selection. Should be a Pro Bowler in his career. He's going to stick at that tackle spot and provide a ton of value for a team. And to me, number 4 is exactly where he belongs. He's a top 5 level talent, and therefore Fashanu is that guy for Indy, who historically love to take guys that are super talented at the position and go ahead and execute it. To me, offensive tackle is exactly where Indy can go to protect Anthony Richardson in the future. At number 5 here, we have the Washington Commanders. Now, there's going to be some people saying that, they already have Logan Thomas. I acknowledge that. I absolutely get it. But when there's a player as talented as Brock Bowers on the board, who's been a mismatch nightmare ever since he got to Georgia, freshman season and beyond, this guy has been an elite producer. He's a guy that you can put in the slot. He's going to play, quote, more wide receiver than he is tight end, but it's going to be a tough cover for corners and linebackers to stay on this guy with how good he is as a premier, a top tier route runner, as well as another guy that can get some things done after the catch. Super aggressive in that regard, and therefore number 5 makes sense for me. Number 6, we have Arizona. Arizona is the beneficiary of the trade that they had made last draft, and they go ahead and select Jared Verse from Florida State. Now, Verse is one of those players that is going to catch a lot of eyes during the course of the season. He's going to continue to propel himself into the top 10 and will become a little more consensual midway through the season. Therefore, Jared Verse, in terms of his fit with Arizona, they have to continue to build up that defense. I get that they want to continue to work with that offense, but with the current things that are on the board, I didn't feel like Ibuka would be the guy I wanted to select here. I thought Verse was a much better long-term fit in terms of the talent that he brings. Sometimes if you're a team, you just have to take best player available. I get that you have certain team needs and everything, but I think Arizona is in a need as well at the edge spot. Therefore, Jared Verse is going to fit in beautifully. He's a powerful pass rusher, a guy that wins a lot with his lower body, and Jared Verse is that guy here. Number 7, we have Green Bay, and Green Bay is going to have to consider with where they're at. Is Jordan Love the guy? That's something that has to be considered and talked through. To me, Joe Alt from Notre Dame is a player that we have to watch. We have to watch him. Another great pass protector, a guy that can get to the second level in terms of run blocking. He can be that trend setter, that tone setter along that offensive line for the Packers, who I believe will be looking at the position in the offseason. Alt is a tremendous talent. He's exactly what Green Bay would need going into next season. And to me, this is a beautiful blend of just trying to take the best player available, as well as a guy that's just super talented and is going to be a scheme fit for this offense. At number 8, we have Chicago again. Chop Robinson out of Penn State will continue to draw eyes. The high motor pass rusher is going to fit in nicely with this defense, considering they went offense with Marvin Harrison Jr. They come back with the guy as talented as Chop Robinson. To me, this pick is going to go a long ways in setting them up to potentially win the NFC North in the following season. They are right there. They are doing a lot of the things that you have to do in order to create a winning culture and, just bring in talented football players. Ryan Pace has done a nice job reconfiguring the identity of the Chicago Bears, and Chop Robinson is the latest rendition of a guy that is going to be a high impact player. At number 9, we have New Orleans. New Orleans is a fun team here. Kool-Aid McKinstry is one of those players that we have to continue to monitor and watch. An elite man-to-man guy, fluid hips, good ball skills, all of which are the creation of a top-tier corner prospect, and he will get better this upcoming season. And to me, Alabama is going to maximize him and really turn him into a top 10 level prospect. And I think that is almost starting to really become general consensus here of who potentially the top corner is in the class. And to me, Kool-Aid McKinstry continues to be at the top of the list. At number 10 here, we have the LA Rams. JC Latham from Alabama continues to draw a lot of attention. His versatility, being able to play tackle and guard. The Rams are going to have to reconfigure this offensive line in a way that is conducive for winning in the future. It's just the current offensive line is not going to get the job done. You get a very, very polished product in JC Latham. And to me, the Rams are doing themselves a humongous favor here at number 10. Number 11, we have the New England Patriots. The Patriots are going to be looking for some edge rushing help. I think that Bill Belichick loves the ability to rotate pass rushers in and out. Dallas Turner, from an actual value standpoint, he's a good pass rusher. He's a guy that can defend the run, which is something Bill Belichick always tends to look for in actual top-tier edge rushers. And to me, Dallas Turner is going to provide that for them. I love this for the Patriots. I love this. This is such a New England pick. And I think with the connection that Nick Saban has with Bill Belichick, it's going to be the perfect fit here for the Pats moving forward. Now we have the Las Vegas Raiders. I think there's a lot of room for improvement on the roster, a lot of which actually begins in the secondary, because Denzel Burke from Ohio State is a top-tier playmaker. He's a guy that can go and get the football, create turnovers at the next level. I firmly believe that, not only with his physical traits and his ability at short area quickness, and has a good understanding of route trees. Denzel Burke is one of those players that should be impactful moving forward. And to me, at number 12, he is that guy. Number 13, we have the Houston Texans. Michael Hall is the selection here. A lot of praise for Michael Hall, which people see as being, anywhere from the middle of the first towards, the end of the first. He is a tough one to evaluate at this point, and I think he's going to really prove his worth down the stretch here at Ohio State. He's going to be one of those players that they're going to lean heavily on in the middle of that defense to stop the run. There's a lot of talented rushing teams in the Big Ten, and I think he is going to have to be a neutralizer for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Number 14, we have the Minnesota Vikings, and there's a big decision looming for Kirk Cousins going into a contract year. There's no clear plan of what's going to happen with Kirk Cousins, but I think all signs are starting to begin to point towards, with the new regime in, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, the general manager, is going to have to make a little bit of a pivot in his plan. Quinn Ewers from Texas is that guy for them. I think he's going to have a productive year with the current receiving core that he has with Xavier Worthy, Jatavion Sanders. Those guys are going to create a lot of mismatches. He's going to look really good in a Texas uniform. He's going to create some big explosive plays. He's got a good arm. There's a reason he was a top-tier prospect coming out of high school. The Minnesota Vikings are turning a page from the Kirk Cousins era to now the Quinn Ewers era at this time. 15, we have Tennessee. Tennessee's a tough evaluation in terms of where they're going to finish. JT Tuimoloau from Ohio State is a tone setter. He's an athlete that reads plays very well. You look at him on screens, he's always active in that. You look at him from an actual, pass rushing perspective and the amount of moves that he has. He can get after the quarterback effectively, and I think Tennessee is seeking out a guy of his caliber, to fit this defense. Mike Vrabel is very much about, putting a lot of pressure on an offense, and that's exactly what Tuimoloau will do for them heading into this season. Number 16, we have Atlanta. Laiatu Latu from UCLA is one of those players that I think is going to continue to grow his draft stock as we continue to progress through the college football season. He's explosive. He's another guy that is very good at getting to the quarterback and has a good feel for the game. The Atlanta Falcons continue to look to build this defense up, and I think the front seven is a place that you have to consider where they need to go, and Latu is going to make a big impact for them if that is the selection. Number 17, we have the Denver Broncos, and considering with where they're at, some of their big names are gone. Obviously Von Miller, but the more important one is the Bradley Chubb trade. Now I think they have to really address that heading into next season. Jack Sawyer from Ohio State, he's got a motor that runs for days. He never gives up on a play, and he continuously gives everything he has to a football team. That's kind of the toughness and defensive identity that Denver's trying to create once again. Think about some of the golden years of the Broncos defenses, and I think he absolutely fits the bill of physicality, toughness, as well as a guy that can absolutely make an impact across the board, getting after the QB, but also defending against the run. Number 18, we have the Giants. Emeka Egbuka is a player that finally goes here at number 18. A little bit tough because we had a rush on offensive linemen, we had a rush on edges, and now we have Egbuka here that goes to the New York Giants, who are seeking out a little bit more explosiveness. He's one of the best yards after catch guys in the entire college football landscape, and I think that's going to be a big trend heading into next season. Oftentimes is overshadowed by the tremendous talent of Marvin Harrison Jr., but that does not mean that he's not a great player in his own right, and to me at number 18, that is a terrific pick. Number 19, we have the LA Chargers, and the Chargers here go Bralen Trice from Washington. Bralen Trice is a player that we have to continue to monitor. I think he's going to see an even higher uptick in production going into this upcoming college football season. The Chargers just adding another, weapon defensively that they can do a lot of things with. Trice's athleticism and strength are going to be a nice culmination for a troublesome guy to try to block in this kind of division where you have to get after the quarterback. Bralen Trice continues to ascend his game. Number 20, we have the Baltimore Ravens, and I think the writing's on the wall here. Kalen King. He's too talented to drop any further than this. Baltimore always seemingly makes the right selection in that first round. They've done a tremendous job drafting over the last couple of seasons, and it's been a product of the rosters that they've had. A little bit of unluckiness is part of the reason why they haven't won as much as they have, they should have. But these rosters have been good. Part of the reason why is a lot of great drafting. Kalen King, a sticky man-to-man guy, long arms. he can do a lot of things for a football team and just has natural instincts for the position. To me, at number 20, this is an absolute steal. 21, we have the Seattle Seahawks. Cooper Beebe from Kansas State, should have been a first rounder last year, gets hurt, and this is the same story. This is a Seattle football team that is seeking out toughness, a guy that is going to be able to be consistent along that offensive line to help churn it out. Kenneth Walker is going to be the biggest beneficiary of this pick, physical in the run game. I think Seattle's just getting a tremendous talent here at 21. Number 22, we have Jacksonville. Jacksonville, to me, has a very tough weakness to deal with, and that's on the interior of their offensive line. I've said it time and time again, that's a spot of concern of mine. They continue to address it, these trenches with, a lot of first round picks. However, I think that they have to continue to look forward to progress that. And if you want to keep Trevor Lawrence upright, Zion Nelson is the pick out of Miami. His consistency along an offensive line is going to provide some, a little bit of stability on that interior. We had seen guys like Ben Bartch struggle, but I think Jacksonville is being wise here with going with a guy like Zion Nelson. Number 23, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Javon Bullard from Georgia continues to stick out in terms of his actual ability on the back end of a defense to be versatile. He can play corner, he can play safety. Pittsburgh can use this in a lot of different ways. I think he's going to be a chess piece for this team. You can stick him all over the field. Mike Tomlin is going to have a heyday with him. This staff is going to love the versatility that Bullard brings in his coverage, as well as being a guy that can help a little bit in run support. 23, Pittsburgh's getting a perfect scheme fit. 24 now, we have the Dallas Cowboys. Kalen Bullock from USC is a headliner. And I think, considering where the Dallas Cowboys are, I think there is some room for improvement on that back half of that secondary. And to me, Kalen Bullock, in terms of his actual versatility, what he can bring to a defense, I think this makes a lot of sense. This is a player that, granted, if he wasn't a safety, I think he would go a little bit higher. But once again, it's just Kalen Bullock and positional value are one of the reasons why he is as low as he is. But the Cowboys are getting just a really good football player that has natural instincts, that has a good feel for the game. And to me, 24 is that pick that's definitely worthy of selecting at that spot. 25 now, we have the Miami Dolphins. I think the Miami Dolphins are going to be looking to get a little more explosive at the tight end position, a little more athletic. To me, Ja'Tavion Sanders out of Texas is going to have a massive year, considering the wide receiver room that they have at Texas. The tight end spot with Ja'Tavion Sanders and Quinn Ewers at QB is going to create a lot of offensive opportunities, a lot of red zone looks for him. They're going to move the ball up and down the field. And to me, at 25, the Dolphins continue to add some athleticism. Not only are their receivers super athletic, they have quick running backs. They've built this team on speed, and therefore Ja'Tavion Sanders is going to be a phenomenal fit and also a true red zone threat. Number 26, we have the New York Jets. Cameron Kinchens from Miami is an impactful player, and I think the New York Jets can use that on the back half of their defense. To me, Cameron Kinchens is another player that's an X factor for the Hurricanes, and depending on if they can kind of turn it around, I think he might be the biggest beneficiary of saying, hey, this is the reason why. It's because of his play. And to me, 26 to the Jets, that is a deadly duo. 27, we have the San Francisco 49ers. Malik Nabers. And Malik Nabers is a player that I'm slightly partial to. Watching him last season, I think that his talent is a little bit better than what the production that you see. Another year with Jaden Daniels, this could make some sense. I think this makes a lot of sense here. In terms of the San Francisco 49ers are going to have to look for another guy. Malik Nabers is a terrific route runner. He's a guy that is able to get open on a lot of different concepts. And to me, he's shifty. Malik Nabers is that pick here for San Fran that I am absolutely starting to fall in love with. Some people have Nabers, top of the second round. I see him as being more of a round one guy. Number 28, we have the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions here, Mason Smith, the big defensive tackle from LSU. He is a body mover, completely a disruptor in the middle of a defense, can get after the quarterback. He has requisite athleticism for the position to potentially have a nice sack production year. Obviously, there's a ton of value in his run defense, but I think there is some potential upside for him being a really good pass rusher at the league. And to me, Detroit continues to win here. They are a team that we have to be excited about moving forward. 29, we have the Buffalo Bills. Xavier Worthy out of Texas is another one of those players that Texas continues to produce first-round picks again. This is something that is pretty exciting, but Buffalo has to be a little bit more athletic. They need a field stretcher, and that's exactly what Xavier Worthy can provide. He could be a home run hitter. He's got a slight frame. However, he is a big play threat. Number 30, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. Kingsley Suamataia is exactly what the Bengals need, in my opinion. A big tackle that can kick inside, has that athleticism that he can do both. He could be a pulling guard if need be. But Suamataia is one of those tackles that is going to flash a lot of consistency at BYU, and the Bengals have to be better up front. This almost is like a broken record. We continuously talk about it. They've invested money into it. They've invested draft pick capital. But to me, Kingsley Suamataia can't go much lower than 30. 31, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. Rome Odunze is one of those players that we have to watch out for. With his ability to make plays after the catch, his size, his hands, all of which are going to be very exciting for Chiefs fans moving forward. Odunze is exactly what they need to be looking for, can be a red zone threat, and he's going to be a massive reason why Washington's offense with Michael Penix are going to put up a lot of points this season. And then at 32, finally here, we have Troy Franklin out of Oregon, another field stretcher, a guy that's an absolute burner. He's going to run extremely well at the combine, in my opinion. He can get vertical with teams. I think when you consider his athleticism and exactly with where this Eagles offense is and what they need, very similarly to Buffalo, looking for a guy to take the top off the defense that can really put a lot of pressure vertically on an opposing defense. To me, Troy Franklin is the perfect scheme fit for the Philadelphia Eagles. Thanks again for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you do enjoy NFL content, more specifically mock drafts. We try to produce them every week here at Utility Sports Plus. Once again, I appreciate every single one of you. Let me know in the comment section below who your favorite football team is. We'll have a little bit of discourse in the comments section. We'll catch you in the very next Utility Sports video.